Made it. We're in Seoul, South Korea right now, as you can see. Well, probably not. This is like a super futuristic kind of museum, I guess. But that's not the point. The point today is to talk about like changing your environment and how your brain is trying to tell you all kinds of things, trying to wire you back to where you came from, your old identity. And it's almost like a blend of different emotions that I've experienced myself for the first 3 to 5 days of moving to a new country. I've been here for 7 days now, and for the first couple of days I noticed a shift in a few things. Like the first thing obviously was discomfort, because I arrived late, around 9 p.m. and then I had to take the Seoul train, not the Seoul train to Incheon, which is the airport, go all the way there, then go to this crappy, and I mean crappy, hostel with like 5 bunk beds, super tight space, showers, smelled like piss. It was on another floor, not really any locker to put your luggage. It's just not a fun experience. I was only there for 2 days, $30 a night, you can't complain. And then if you look at the Maslow, triangle, hierarchy, I guess, like the first needs are like survival, right? Making sure you have food, shelter, things like that, like survival needs. Obviously, when you change your environment, like you're not going to be in business mode, obviously. So one thing to take away is, if you change your environment, don't try to go all out on business mode or trying to achieve different things all at once. Like, you need to set your footing first. Get acclimated to the city. What I did, man, despite being jet lagged, I just walked and walked and walked and walked, pretty much around 22, sometimes 26,000 steps a day. That destroyed my feet, but it calmed me down a little bit. It improved my sleep, my recovery, and after about 5 days, I would say my jet lag was completely gone. And if I look at my Whoop data, basically I'm in the green now, and my stress is a bit lower, so my body is not like thinking. It should be awake when it's asleep, and my circadian rhythm is starting to take its baseline, so that's good. So that's one of the survival, kind of needs, primal needs. And obviously, you're gonna get a bit overwhelmed. Oh, nice view. Yeah, you're gonna get overwhelmed because it's a new environment. And what is this? And it's like your brain is trying to almost pull you back to going home, almost. You're starting to second guess everything. Because let's be honest, I've burned the boats, literally. I've quitted the military, my safe job in Canada, and now I'm here. No job, I got a safety net, but I gotta make it happen, right? And then doubts starts to creep in, despite having a clear plan in Canada. Now that I'm here and I'm not in business mode, because my survival needs are still being met. Gotta find an apartment, open up a bank account, making sure everything is smooth with immigration. It's a lot of things to adapt, right? And then that's when the doubts starts to creep in. You second guess everything, every little thing that happens. You feel sorry for yourself. You feel like you don't belong. That people are kind of judging you because you're in another country. You're a foreigner. Who cares, right? Like, I'll say the first few days, dude, I saw some of the most beautiful girls. I choked, I froze, couldn't talk to them. It's only after, I'll tell you a story first. Like, there was one girl, obviously I went to Olive Young. Gotta get the skincare, man, alright? And there was 3 levels. As I went up the second level, I could see from the corner of my eye that that woman was about to go down the stairs. And when she saw me, subtly, I didn't look straight at her, but I could tell she told her friend that somehow she wanted to stay or she forgot something. Clearly it was a sign that she wanted to put herself into my orbit so that I would notice and have the balls to actually talk to her, right? So as I went up the stairs, I go up different aisles, and suddenly, right, she kind of follows me. She kind of almost blocks my block my tracks in a way, right, where I was in the middle of an aisle, and she was kind of not sitting, but standing close to me. She was pretending to check up her purse, see what she forgot or whatever, and I didn't do anything. And it was such a punch to my gut that I didn't just say hi. I could blame it on everything. I could blame it on the still jet lagged. I was feeling overwhelmed, and no, I could have just said hi. This would have been a warm approach, because she literally put herself into my orbit, and I said no way. And then that kind of pissed me off. And then the next day, I just did a random approach on the sidewalk. I saw her from a distance. I was walking faster than her, and I just, let's say she's on the right, I was on the left, but I was slightly in front of her, looked at her, said hi. She removed her headphones. We talked for about 10 minutes. I walked with her. A big language barrier, so there was long periods of silences, but we kind of kept walking. She didn't try to evade or anything like that. She was laughing every now and then. We had a good chat, but it didn't really nothing really happened from that. But I was proud of myself. Foreign country, random approach, sidewalk, headphones in. I could have told myself a bunch of excuses. And one thing you'll realize, sometimes they look like they don't want to be approached, but they want to. Like, keep in mind, not a lot of guys are doing this, right? Approaching them on the streets like that. And I think the regret of not trying is much worse than actually shooting your shot and missing out, You gotta try. Like, what's the worst that can happen? She stabs you to death? That would be the worst thing. What are the chances that this happens? Probably 0.625%, and that's a high. I overestimated that. But you get my point, right? So that gave me a boost of confidence. The rest of the day, I felt good. And I was like, yeah, maybe I could do this thing. You know, if I do that a few times, if I also approach guys, start making friends with guys, join a gym, which I did yesterday for 5 months. So that's going to give me a place to constantly go to and meet regular people and hopefully make some friendships out of that, grow your social circle that way. You got to go to places that you normally would go to in your home country. That same goes for cafes, where maybe you do some work. If you're a freelancer, if you're a coach, if you have a startup, co-working spaces are probably the best option if you have the money to do so. I believe a co-working space in Seoul is around, could range from $300 to $500. If you have your private office, it can cost probably a bit more. So it all depends on your budget, right? And as for the rent here, I'm meeting with a realtor, Budongsang, we call them, tomorrow. So we're gonna look at places, and it's probably not gonna be what I hope. I'm sure there's gonna be some, you know, when you search for apartments, sometimes it's just not what you want at all. And with the location I want, which is Gangnam and surrounding areas, which I think fits my demographic and my age and what I want to do, and dating, food, and everything like that. That would be a good location, but I think this would be one of the most expensive location. So we're gonna try to find something at around 1 million won per month, which is give or take $960-$70, and that's on the low end at this area. So we'll see what happens, but I don't want to have to be in a place where there's cockroaches and mold and all this nonsense. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And after this, I have to go to, I went to immigration this week, so I got my application sorted out, and in a month I will have my alien card. So yeah, things are lining up, and hopefully I can feel at home soon enough. But yeah, the biggest takeaways I would say is those first few days, whether you change country, whether you change careers, whether you try your own business, you have to believe in yourself no matter what, because your brain is going to throw you in all different directions, trying to put you back to baseline, to where you were. And you can't really listen to that, because this is your old identity. Remember, in this life, reality, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will give you what you deserve. And what you deserve is what you think your mind deserves. In other words, you can only have what you already have. Right? You don't really desire your current reality, do you? I got that from Neural Knowledge, from the book Outsmarting Reality. Right? Because, yeah, you don't desire your reality, so you keep getting what you've always had. Because you're not desperate for it, right? And your mind, your thoughts, your beliefs, your vibration is aligned with that. So that's why reality keeps feeding it to you. Because you're wired like that. But you chose that. At some point in time, you chose the reality that you're in right now. So in order to change it, you got to change your beliefs, you got to change your frequency, your vibration, how you talk to yourself, your daily habits, obviously, because you got to take action. You can't just manifest your way into your new life if you don't do anything about it. You got to make a change. You got to take action. But from the frame that you already have it. So you got to sort of maintain this neutral excitement that it's already yours, that you placed an order on Amazon and it's coming. 2 days, not really 2 days, could be a month, 2 months. But your frequency can change as soon as 24 hours, right? You just got to trust the process, because there's a lag between what's happening in your mind and what you see in your reality. So you got to trust that lag and not give up when you don't see things moving forward. That's what most people do, right? They get motivated for a bit, for a few days, and then all of a sudden, boom, they kind of lose that motivation. They kind of stop doing the habits they were doing, and then they kind of fall back into their old frequency. So you got to trust the process. Trust that there is a lag, but your promise will be fulfilled if you just stick to the process. That's what I'm experiencing now. My brain is trying to pull me back into my old frequency, trying to put me in a stressful state that I'm not secure right now, and I need to go back home because, I don't have any income right now coming in, and my brain is going haywire, right? New country, new everything. But trust that the lag will fulfill itself and you will change your reality soon enough. So this was my first video in Seoul. Cool location. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on everything and see how it goes. But yeah, live from Seoul. See you soon.